Welcome to another educational video from Redollar. Today we are going to discuss the value of scrap silver. Scrap silver refers to any item made of silver that is no longer being used or wanted in its current state and therefore is being sold for its melt value. Typically, scrap silver is sold to refiners or precious metal dealers who will then melt it down and extract the pure silver. The value of scrap silver is determined by its weight and purity rather than the worth or craftsmanship of the original item. Our appraisers have selected several typical scrap pieces we receive every day. We have a lot of silver flatware. This one scoop contains a collection of scrap jewelry. Next to the jewelry is a vintage mirror, and above the mirror is a vintage bowl. We have 2 silver candle holders. At the top here is a silver photo frame. As you can see, it's been bent up. Along this side is a collection of heavily used silver coins. And lastly, we have an interesting piece. We'll get into some details later on. This is a pre-melted silver disc, a collection of multiple silver items that have been melted down. Now, before we get into the process of determining the worth of these pieces, it's important to understand the purity of scrap silver. When our appraisers reference scrap silver, they use the term purity to indicate the fineness of the items being discussed. Let's talk about silver purity with a demonstration using a few of these items. Most items produced in the US have a silver content of either 92.5%, also commonly referred to as sterling silver, or 90% purity, known as coin silver. On the other hand, items manufactured in other countries may have varying levels of purity, such as 80% in Germany or Italy, or even 95% in Mexico and some Asian countries. This is a sterling silver fork, which has a silver content of 92.5%. The 2 scoops display the fork's components. 92.5% pure silver is in this scoop, and the other scoop contains the rest of the metal, which is copper. As previously mentioned, the phrase coin silver pertains to objects that contain 90% pure silver. These items do not necessarily have to be in the form of coins, but let's use this Morgan dollar coin for example. The 2 scoops here display the coin's components. 90% pure silver is in this scoop, and the remaining 10% in this scoop is copper. The origin of coin silver can be traced back to the 1800s, when wealthy farmers would often receive payment in the form of silver coins. To make the most of their coins, they would often invite skilled silversmiths to their farms to create practical items such as tea or coffee sets, trays, and other decorative pieces. Beginning in the 1900s, Native American silversmiths also began incorporating silver coins into their jewelry designs. The most used coins were Morgan dollars, followed by peace dollars and quarters in later years. Now that we've explained silver purity, we can begin appraising these scrap silver items. This is a straightforward process, and all it requires is a precise scale and access to our website, redollar.com. It is important to be aware that the price of silver fluctuates daily, and visiting our website ensures the most up-to-date silver prices. I'm going to start with our silver flatware. Silver flatware can be passed down through generations and oftentimes accrues damages such as dents or cracks. A lot of times it can become undesirable and is sold to us in large quantities like this. So what I'm going to do is put the entire lot of silverware onto the scale and just making sure it's all on there evenly. This is 310.14 grams of silver. So now I am going to head over to Redollar's website to use the silver calculator to find out the value of all of this silverware. Using Redollar's silver calculator is a very simple process. I am on our website, and at the top I selected Calculate Payout, which brings us to the gold and silver calculator. The first thing I'm going to do is select silver from the metal category. All of these items today are scrap silver, so this will stay the same on the item category. And the purity is 925 sterling silver. I am entering in the weight of all of the flatware, which was 310.14 grams of silver. Over to the right, I see that it pays out $238.81. Up next, let's value this collection of scrap jewelry. Scrap jewelry consists of broken or damaged pieces. Oftentimes, we encounter unwanted jewelry that contains stones in good condition and can be resold. In these cases, we will pay with the stones included in the price. Now, we do have to account for the weight of the wooden scoop. So all I did was weigh the scoop beforehand, and what we will do is subtract the weight of the wooden scoop from this weight here, which will give us the adjusted silver price of the scrap jewelry. So with this number, let's go find out the value we will get. All of this information stays the same, and I am going to enter in the adjusted silver weight of the jewelry, which was that total weight minus the wooden scoop. So that adjusted weight is 219.24 grams of silver, which pays out $168.81. Here is the vintage silver mirror. As beautiful as they can be, most silver mirrors lack collector value, resulting in them being dismantled and melted down. As you can see, the glass of the mirror was removed by the owner before sending it to us. The scale is telling us that this is 146.06 grams of silver. We'll head back over to Redollar's website now and get the value of this piece. I'm sure that you are starting to see how easy of a process this is. The mirror weighs 146.06 grams of silver, and it pays out $112.47. Let's move on to this silver photo frame. Like silver mirrors, silver photo frames are no longer popular. The non-silver components, such as glass, are removed to melt and salvage the silver. This customer bent the frame up like this to decrease its volume before shipping to us. Let's get the weight of this photo frame. 162.69 grams of silver. And once again, just keep in mind that the price of silver is changing daily, and visiting our website will ensure the most up-to-date price. This photo frame will pay out $125.27. Now we have these two silver candle holders. These candle holders are considered weighted items. Weighted silver items are always marked weighted, indicating they have been filled with materials such as resin, sand, or even cement. And to accurately determine the value of these items, the filling materials must be removed, which is the case with these two items. As a comparison, we have a candle holder here where the filling has not been removed. When we flip it over to the bottom, you'll see that it is marked weighted. You can imagine how the weight difference affects the accuracy in the value of these items. While some customers choose to remove the filling at home, it is not necessary to do so before selling weighted silver items to $3. I'm going to weigh both of these candle holders together, so let's place them on the scale one at a time. The total weight of these two items is 180.08 grams. So now let's go back over to $3 to find out the value. I have a feeling these candle holders will have a nice profit. They weighed a total of 180.08 grams, and they pay out $138.66. Now we have our vintage silver bowl. This bowl is also considered a weighted item. When we flip it over, you can see the filler has been removed from the stand. I would like to point out, oftentimes silver mirrors can be weighted items as well. Their handles can contain filler. Let's get the weight of our vintage silver bowl. It is 170.56 grams of silver. Entering in the weight of the vintage bowl, 170.56 grams of silver, will get us $131.33. Here is the collection of heavily used silver coins. All of these coins are 90% coin silver. We receive some with drilled holes in them like this one, typically used for pendants. A lot of them are heavily damaged. It looks like somebody was trying to carve a star shape into this one, which is interesting. A lot of pieces we get have unique stories, such as this coin. We were told by the owner it once belonged to a distant relative who would keep the coin in their pocket and rub it like a talisman for good luck and protection. As you can see, it's amazing how it has become unrecognizable from its original appearance. Let's get the weight of all of these coins together. This is 158.69 grams of silver. Now, all of those coins were 90% coin silver, so I'm selecting 900 silver purity here. The weight, 158.69 grams of silver. All of those coins pay out $119.02. Lastly is this interesting looking silver disc. As I mentioned earlier, it's actually a collection of multiple silver items that have been melted down by the owner. There can be various reasons why silver was pre-melted before being delivered to a professional refining company like Redaler. Some melted silver items we receive have been melted in a house fire, but many people are just interested in the process of melting silver and will do it themselves at home. The customer who melted this piece did an excellent job shaping it. Pre-melting silver can be a great way to decrease silver items' volume for shipping convenience as well. Now, when we receive melted silver like this piece, we are able to determine its purity by analyzing it with our state-of-the-art X-ray machine. This silver disc is an example of an ideal 92.5% pure pre-melted piece. It is heavy. I can only imagine how many pieces went into the making of this silver disc. It weighs quite a bit, 191.57 grams of silver. So let's go find out the value. I think it's pretty interesting that pre-melted silver disc is one of our heaviest items we have today. As a reminder, I selected 92.5% sterling silver purity, 191.57 grams of silver pays us $147.51. With this knowledge on scrap silver items, It's a simple process to determine the value of your scrap silver at home. In a matter of minutes, you can weigh your items with an accurate scale and get the most up-to-date price using Redollar's silver calculator. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on another educational video from Redollar.